world. And guys, I need you to get excited because what I am about to do, I do not know whether it has been done before. I know for sure that human beings are very creative, and there is definitely someone out there who is already doing it, but I don't want to make that assumption. I don't want to make that assumption. I just want to go with my gut feeling. So my gut feeling has prompted me to find a way of getting. So welcome guys to my channel. My name is Duncan Robert. I have many other names, but for now, those two will be the most important. First of all, I am happy and I am glad that you have been able to subscribe to this channel. I am happy that you have found value in this channel even before I release my content. This channel has been coming. The idea for this channel started a very, very long time ago. And I'll give you a story of why I decided to actually join this bandwagon of YouTube as a platform for me to share my knowledge, for me to speak to people. And but before I go there, let me just introduce myself to you so that you are able to know who I am and why I'm here and what this channel is about. And I'll give you the context of this first video that I'm producing. So to start us off, my name is Duncan Robert. I have another name, but you shall find that out as we keep going. There's a very special reason why I am not putting that name out there. And with time, definitely, you'll be able to know it. And I'll be very proud to let you use it. But for now, just recognize me as Duncan Robert, and the channel itself is called Channel Y. Recently, I adjusted it to Channel Ask Y. There are so many reasons. I think with time, as I'm doing this YouTube thing, I'm just learning one thing at a time, and I adjust accordingly as I move. So professionally, if I'm to introduce myself to you professionally, I have done so many things, but I will recognize myself from what I have done in school and what I have done professionally at work. I am a trained auditor. When I left school, the training that I have received that has given me some of the basic skills that I have to be able to work in the office is auditing. Yeah, I'm a trained auditor with a top firm in the country, and it enabled me to gain so much insight into the corporate environment and into basically what it takes to move around this space. Secondly, I am a finance and accounting professional. Basically, I have worked for companies where I have been handling the finance element and the accounting element. One day, some people will come to understand accounting and finance are not the same. Yeah, I know in the streets, people just put all of them together and then you assume that. But for starters, just to give you an insight, accounting is backward looking, finance is forward looking. Yeah, so probably look at accountants as historians, and then look at finance people as prophets. But they work together, they work together. They really rely a lot on each other for the day-to-day functions of an organization to succeed. So in terms of a school, I'm a graduate with a bachelor's in economics, and I find economics to be very interesting. Economics is one of those fields that you partake in, and it opens your mind to so much that you sometimes wonder, where do I start and where do I stop? Yeah, economics is very broad, very, very broad, and it gives you knowledge that will make you understand the globe and the world in a very interesting way. So I have enjoyed everything that I have done. I really, at one point, I got confused. Should I branch out into accounting? Should I branch out into finance? Should I focus on economics? But as I grow older, then I realized that these three subjects are actually, they relate. They kind of just work together to make you really understand the world, the companies, the governments from a very interesting perspective. So I have come to appreciate all of them, and in the things that in the day-to-day life where I am right now, I actually appreciate all of them, and I just use all of those subjects to give me a better understanding. So from a professional perspective, that is who I am in a nutshell. But there's nothing interesting usually so much about the professional side of life. Of course, to some people there is, but when you're introducing yourself, the interesting part is always the other side. So who am I outside my work? Outside my work, I believe I am a multi-talented young man. I thank God for some of the gifts that he has been able to give me, but I have spent a lot of my time in doing physical things. I am gifted physically. I'm almost able to execute so many sports that I partake in very smoothly without much struggle. I have played football. I was a good player back in school, and I still do it even up to date. Sometimes when I have the time, I visit Karura and over the weekend, and I just play my football. Sometimes I go to some of these tough pitches that we have these days where you can just go and play 5-a-side, 7-a-side. The modern world has really advanced some of these sports, and football is one of those sports that I really enjoy. Actually, I enjoy football more than I enjoy any other sport, despite the fact that I'm able to play so many others. I have also a lot of interest in basketball, and most people who know me will identify me with basketball rather than football, surprisingly. But the people who've known me longer know me in the space of football. After school, I went into basketball, and I just realized that actually there's an element of me that actually also enjoys basketball, and I can do it. Yeah, I am not a very good dribbler of the ball, but I am very athletic, and I can do a lot of the nasty things like dunking. I used to dunk so well back in school that my basketball teacher wanted me to play basketball, but I couldn't do it because I was a football captain, so understandably so. And I am also very capable of playing volleyball. Sometimes I get into a volleyball pitch, or I don't know what it's called, pitch or court, and I smash that ball. Sometimes people wonder, have you played volleyball before? I have not competitively played volleyball, but every time I find people playing and I join in, I do it quite well. In fact, it reminds me of another day I went for my holiday in Mombasa. Okay, not Mombasa. Every time we mention the coast region, we assume it's Mombasa. Okay, it reminds me of some time I went to Diani, and in this nice hotel that I was staying, and they usually have volleyball games in the evening. So one of those days I went in and I found some foreigners. I think they were coming from the UK, and they were playing volleyball, and they were playing volleyball very competitively. And some of the people who they were playing against were some local guys, some beach boys who just come in the evening to play the volleyball. And these beach boys, of course, they're Kenyans. So as I sat there, I told myself, I'll not sit and watch as my country people just get beaten as I watch with some young but very athletic British boys. So I just asked them, can I join in? And they were like, yeah, you can join. I turned that game over. I didn't even know I would do that, but every service that I kept giving, they never returned. They just couldn't give it back. And because I realized it is working, I just smashed almost 7 service. Yeah, gave us like 7 points and we were at par, and then we now started going competitively. They still beat us, but now they felt the competitive nature, and they felt the impact. And during those little moments, I just tell myself, God, I can see there's something you gave me. I just don't think I have done enough to utilize it, but I've tried the best that I can this far that I have come in life. So that is what I do. I dance. I love dancing, unknown to many. I sing a lot. As a matter of fact, I sing in church specifically. And all those things have made me reach this far and really appreciate the life that I have lived. I really think that I have lived a 360 kind of life this far. The only thing that was pending, the only thing that I felt was missing, and the only thing that I've always felt I haven't done was to truly pursue something that has been disturbing me. Internally, I've always had this pressure. I've had this push. I can feel everything in me wanting to do something that I know I am really, really gifted at, but I just didn't know how to bring it out best. I tried to bring it out in my workspaces, but there is not so much time in the workspaces for you to explore some of these things. Yeah, the goals and the deliverables at work are immediate and they're urgent. They need to be done as soon as they come. And there is not so much patience around the workspaces for you to try and live your dreams in such spaces. A lot of things that happen in the office spaces is sacrifice. Most people actually do a lot of sacrifice. It's a case of someone making a decision to sacrifice, and I truly appreciate that. Also, on the sports side, I think I have not found very competitive platforms that are very well organized that I am able to put myself in and to push myself to a level that now I can take advantage of this unique skill that I think God has given me. And that one thing is what has driven me to this place that I am in today. So where am I today? I am here today to introduce to you Duncan Robert, the analyst. Duncan Robert, the analytical mind that every time I sit down, I just try to add 1 + 1 to get 2, and to look at, is the 2 the real answer, or do we have any other options? I am a guy who really appreciates moving pieces. I look at things from a big picture perspective and I try to see what it means. My mind is too analytical that I don't just believe things just happen. I am a believer in pieces coming together to form what you see on the surface. So I tend not to be convinced by the things we see. I try to see beyond the visible things in life, and so that I can gain more insights, and the insights can enable me to drive specific agendas, or they can enable me to make decisions. I struggle a lot with making decisions that is not informed. I believe especially very important decisions need to have at least an element of information, and not only information that has undergone some work in it. Now, I understand that you can never make those kind of decisions in life all the time. Life does not give you the luxury to be making decisions every time having been informed. Sometimes you just have to make instinctively. And that becomes better as you age, of course, because now you have more experience and all that. But there's another side of life that we can truly take advantage of. The decisions that don't need to be very urgent, but the decisions that you still have time to make, I think there's an opportunity there for us to do research. So this channel, my friends, is Duncan trying to impose his God-given ability in analytics, natural analytical mind, to see how I can analyze whatever it is that we have around us, to come up with insights that the universe, the people of this world, can use to improve their decisions, or to even decide if they were not making decisions yet. Yeah. And I have decided to take advantage of that in the spaces where there is data. So I have looked around our universe. I have really observed where we are right now, and I see a lot of data. I think in my channel I've described, in the description I have about this channel, I've told you, there is so much data just coming out every single day of our lives. Can you imagine how many websites are there in the web that people are uploading valuable information every single day? How many company websites that you think that just upload data that you can go there and with just 30 minutes of your time, you will get more information than you have ever imagined. So when I was sitting and just thinking how much data there is, I got excited, because that is what happens to me when I think about data. When I think that there's something that can enable me to understand the world better, like data and information, I get excited. So I got excited about that idea, and I started wondering, how do I take advantage of this data now? Because clearly there is so much data in the world that people are utilizing. And it is not that people do not need, or it's not that people don't know. Actually, human beings, the modern man knows this data exists. Even children, you can ask a child right now and they'll tell you, let me just go and Google, then I'll tell you the answer. Let me just find out this information here, then I'll give you the answer. So this information, human beings in this world know that it is there. People know that data is there. Now, why then are people not taking advantage of data and information that we have in our world today to improve their decision making, to make better decisions, to just be more informed, and to live a better life as a result? And the answer is this: there is not so much time to go through all this information. The supply is higher than the demand. The amount of people that we have in the world right now and the amount of information that is being produced, there is too much information for human beings to even comprehend. And every single day that passes, time becomes a luxury, because people have to go to work. At work, there's not so much time for you to do so much research, because like I told you, at work, the deliverables are urgent. By the time you're done with your day, you just want to sleep, some little entertainment here, but you most importantly want to go to bed. Now, that is number one. Number two, the search engines, for example, and the books that we have, the publications that we have, some of them have so many beautiful, amazing, informative content. But my God, the reports, the nature in which they give the output is too complex. It's too complicated, such that someone who has come from work at the end of the day is tired, looks at a report again from a website, or looks at a report from another book, and they just don't want to look at it. Yeah. So that tells you a lot of the publications that we have in the world right now are not being read. And I confirmed this when the other day I was going into some of these national corporations in Kenya, and I was looking for some data. And then I realized there's a publication that was produced, I think, in 2022. And to date, only 300 people or 300 downloads have been done on that document. In a country of 57 million people, only 300 downloads have occurred. That tells you people are lacking time. And even if they have the time, they find those documents to be too complex and complicated for them to interpret. Now, what is the solution then? That is where now I sat down and I said, opportunity is lacking here. And so I told myself, I'm a passionate researcher. I love researching. I can spend my entire day reading books and just scrolling through information after information online and all, and I find a lot of satisfaction in that. Then I asked myself, then, Dan, why can't you be that person then? Why can't you go and consume some of this information, some of this data for people, and then you simplify it and find a creative way in which you can churn it out? Yeah. Why can't you then go online and consume this information? Go read these books, because you've already realized these books have so much content. Why can't you read this book? Do the tough part of this whole process. And the tough part for this whole process is to consume that knowledge, understand what people want to know, get the most important insights, the most important information out of that content, analyze it in the best way that you know or the skills that you have, and then put it out there so that the public can consume. And by doing that, you will be educating people and you will also be empowering people. Because I believe where there is you cannot empower people without informing them, without opening their minds. So this is the space that I have decided to come into. So the whole idea of this channel is to take advantage of data that is available. And I am not buying any data. Even you can go out there and get some of the data sources that I'm using, and you can find this information. It is available, it is there. The only thing is we cannot exhaust. And I want to take advantage of this to now educate people on some of the things that they're struggling with, they're struggling to understand. Yeah. Some of the basic things that you could, with just one person taking an initiative to educate the masses will become definitely better. Things that affect us on a day-to-day basis. Things like how our government operates, our revenue, how our governments make money, how they utilize the money, how our corporates operate. Some of these brands that you associate with very closely, some of these brands that you identify with, do you know anything else beyond what you consume? Yeah. Is there any information that might come out from this that will even make you think of investing in some of these companies? Maybe by just utilizing their goods and commodities, you don't actually appreciate some of the real good things some of these companies are doing. And if I were to welcome you into their spaces and to just give you a different perspective, then you will truly, truly appreciate some of these big companies. Another component is, do you even know something about the most important thing most investors are well informed about is, guys, you have to go where money is, and money has a place it resides. So, and if you want to know where money resides, you look at people who have money, where are they putting their money? So if you want to have money and you've realized rich people are putting their money in the financial markets, then why can't you take a step to truly understand these financial markets? But like I said, this information is out there. There's no time, or the complexities do not allow most people to consume. So I would first of all love to introduce people to the concept of the financial markets and to just let them know how they operate. Let them know even which companies are actually listed in the Nairobi, for example, in our Nairobi Stock Exchange. Which are the biggest stock exchanges and how do they operate? What products do they have? And what do those products actually mean? So that is basically me trying to give out the best that God has given me, and in this case is analytical mind, and specifically to data. And I will skew my approach towards economics and finance and accounting, because that's my space. I wouldn't want to trespass, but should I get information about other spaces or other fields, and I feel I have enough understanding, then I can give my input. But for now, I will focus more on finance and accounting and economics, because those form a major industry that our day-to-day lives actually rely on. Now that I've already introduced you to this channel and what this channel does, let me now tell you how I am going to introduce this channel to the world. And guys, I need you to get excited, because what I am about to do, I do not know whether it has been done before. I know for sure that human beings are very creative, and there is definitely someone out there who is already doing it. But I don't want to make that assumption. I don't want to make that assumption. I just want to go with my gut feeling. So my gut feeling has prompted me to find a way of getting people